Kumite Radio. We're back with Nordine Taleb, the welterweight from the UFC. What's going on, Nordine?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be with you guys.
Savant.
What is savant?
Ça va, Dicap?
Hello in French.
Is that all George knows?
Yeah. And bad words.
Who taught them those bad words?
Manu, my old trainer. No, actually he didn't. No, I just learned.
You know the saying, yeah, sorry for my French. So
Nordine,
yes.
are you in camp right now? Because I know you have a fight coming up, but it's still a whiles away.
It's kind of I was in a training camp for the UFC London. So I've been pulled out of this card for some reason. My opponent got injured, so I've been pulled out. And so yeah, so they came up with the UFC Liverpool, and so yeah, I'm kind of a pre-camp now. So I'm training every day, twice a day, but no, nothing crazy. Like I'm just maintaining, what I have, and just keep myself in shape. But I'm not doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, your opponent Claudio Silva. You're supposed to fight him in 2015.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's very crazy. And this guy pulled out the fight. And I was lucky I had the replacement. So Chris Clement stepped in, very tough guy, very popular guy in Canada. And it was a very important fight because it was in my bucket list to fight in a Bell Center in Montreal. You know, if you're Canadian, is the area must to be. So it was very important for me. So I was a little bit devastated when he pulled out, and but UFC handled it very fast, and Chris Clement stepped in, and we had a very good fight for the fans. So it was cool. But yeah, I've been rematched now against him. But to be honest, I don't believe this matchup will going through. You know, this guy is very popular on putting out fights for some reason, injury or menstruations. I don't know. So, yeah.
So you're.
I really don't know. So anyway, this guy is no secret. It's like an open book to me to fight him. So it's like I don't need to to break down all his technique and blah blah blah. I just overall watching him fighting. And anyway, I've been I break down his game a long time ago. So I'm just gonna review a little bit, but I cannot focus 100% on him and build up all my techniques and my fight game against him, because this matchup can change at any time. So anyway, I'm just gonna stay in shape. I'm gonna push hard. I promise my fans, then I'll be there. I will show up on weight and top shape and ready to put on the show. Whoever will step in.
What is your plan for this camp, though? How many weeks? Are you going to spend your whole camp in Thailand, or are you going to go back to Canada? What's going on with that?
I was planning to stay in Phuket for the camp, but things change on the way. Now it's been like 2 months I'm here, and I don't know. I feel like for me it's a good timing to go back to Montreal and to prepare for this fight. And I can. There is a lot of guys liable there. You know what I mean? Who show up at the gym every time. The guys never cancel. almost never, you know, like 99% of the time they show up even injured, even with the flu. Sometimes I say, okay, you know, let's don't train. But the guys there, they're very consistent. They show up at the gym. They show up at the gym. So it's very important for me to have a liable entourage to go through a training camp. So it's a sure value for me to go back in Montreal, Tristar, Quebec.
At Tristar, you know, there's
Yeah,
only one
Tristar.
Korean. There's only one Korean. Do you know who that Korean?
Korean, yeah, and he's a very good friend of mine. I like this guy. You know, he helped me. I don't remember against who I was supposed to fight, but he helped me as a training partner, and he's very cool guy. I like this guy.
John, who is it? Because I don't know.
David Moon.
Oh.
Yeah, David Moon. He's gonna come at Tiger. He's gonna come at Tiger. You will know him soon.
Oh, I can't wait, so I can speak Korean to him.
Yeah, I was with David Moon in India.
Okay.
That's right. I saw that.
In Super Fight League. Cool. So, yeah, he's a good guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a very good guy. I like this guy, you know. And he deserve a great career in MMA. You know, he's so dedicated. You know, you just need to fix these things up. You know, with his surroundings and stuff. But you know, it's like he deserves a great career. You know, he's so dedicated and consistent, and you know, he worked hard. So yeah, I believe on David. So I hope he's gonna do well. Hopefully, he's gonna join us at Tiger Muay Thai. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see him soon training with us.
Yeah, can't wait to see you, David.
It seems like everybody knows one Korean in the world. Somebody knows somebody.
Yeah, I know few. I've been in Korea. I've been in Korea 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because my one of my best buddy and mentor is Dennis Kang.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. So he's my mentor. You know, he teach me a lot back in the days, and I've been with him because we were training together, and sometimes he came with me on my corner when he was available, and me, at the end of his career, I was going with him on his corner, and and we went to Seoul 3 or 4 times, I don't remember, and he fought there, and I was cornering him. It was a great experience, and Korea is amazing.
Yeah,
I love Korea. They do a lot of copy and stuff, but they copy better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do Italian pizza. It's the best Italian pizza I ever ate in my life. I went to coffee. It's the best coffee I had in my life. I went to fried chicken. Small place fried chicken. Man, it was the best fried chicken with the homemade potato chips. My God, Korea, hands down, is the best at everything. Crazy.
Yeah, they're all right.
I love it. And party is good there too.
Korea is dope.
It's dope. I love it. Well, Korean food is awesome. I love kimchi.
You would have a lot of Korean fans right now.
Yeah.
Or Nordine,
I've made a few contacts there, and I keep in touch with them, and they keep in touch with me. They put me some likes and congratulations after fights. So yeah, very, very, very. I met very cool people there.
Definitely. I want to go back to 2011 though with you, because you know on this show I like to go back to the past.
Okay.
And you fought Pete Sell for the Ring of Combat welterweight title.
That's right.
Drago.
Yeah,
you know,
Drago.
guy that is very well known guy. Can you take us back to that, fight and explain like what exactly happened? Because
I had no idea that you fought Pete Sell.
Oh, really? I knocked him out.
Yeah, no idea. Wow.
Yeah, but I was very this time I was very struggling. If you watch on my record, I was very struggling to find fights, and I was taking anything. I was taking anything was in front of me to taking on any opportunity to fight. And before Pitzel, I had a fight. I think 3 weeks before. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it's not this one, but anyway. So yeah, I think his opponent got injured, and they needed a replacement. It wasn't so short notice, but it was like I think 4 weeks, so I don't remember. And yeah, so I accept the opportunity, and yeah, but they didn't know me. They know I was from Tristar, whatever, striker guy, but I had a very small record. They didn't know really my background, and I was a ferocious fighter and very hungry, and and I was very, very serious. When I show up there, they give me the signs. Then they very, very underestimate me, and especially Pitzel. He was saying me hello like whatever, small guy. You know what I mean? I've made it whole, and you know what I mean. Like I was a small fighter, and I was there to have my ass whooped. But yeah, so and I sees it, I sense it right away, and I say, oh fuck, those people are very underestimate me. I think they're gonna be very, very, very surprised and quick. And after that, yeah. So yeah, the fight happened, but they make me hard down there. You know what I mean? They really make me feel like I was the small and he was the big shit. You know what I mean? They give me a very shitty room, smell like
I bet your French ass was so angry.
Man, yeah. But about this time I had to shut my mouth. I wasn't a diva. But anyway, yeah, they gave me a shitty room in the basement of this casino hotel with only one bed, small bed, and my coach sleep on the ground. He didn't want to share the bed. He said, "Oh man, you need the bed for you." So yeah, he gave me the bed. He slept on the floor. Yeah, the room was shitty, man. Spot on the floor, smelled cigarette. It was horrible. Anyway, and they brought me. I was fighting super late. I fought like at 12:30 a.m. And they brought me in the locker room, and they gave me the shittiest locker room, man. I was moving like this around, and my elbows touch the walls and stuff. I mean, it was so small. I warmed myself up in the hall outside of the locker room. So they brought me at the locker room at 3 p.m.
Oh.
So I was hanging around in this small fucking room for several hours until 12:30. I fought main event. So man, I was so mad and pissed, and man, maybe it's a little bit conspiracy, but by this time IV was allowed, and so I was a IV user after cutting weight. So I brought a nurse who did it to me. He was a guy, and the guy was he had the T-shirt. The guy had the T-shirt of a Drago fan. So he did to me the IV, but man, I was so pumped after the IV. I never felt like this, man. I was like, cannot sleep, cannot rest. I was so excited, so pumped, man. I didn't sleep the whole night. I don't know what was in the IV, man, but I couldn't sleep the whole night. I was flipping around the bed. I went down. I played casino. I went for some food. Walking around, try to be bored and you know what I mean, and want to sleep. But fuck, impossible. So I didn't sleep. I sleep 2 hours in the locker room. So that's it. And I was exhausted, and but I said, man, I came here to win. It's a title shot. It's against Pitzel. It's my golden ticket to the big leagues after that. So I have to show up at this fight. I have to show up, and I was keep repeating to myself, you know what I mean? I didn't come here just to show up. You know, I come here to win and conquer. And yeah, man. So yeah, it was a very good night. I knocked him out cold in the second round. Again, against the whole world, man. There was this crowd cheering for him. They, they were coming. They say yeah, he came up with this sound, born in the USA and whatever, you know, redneck stuff. And yeah, the whole crowd was for him and against me and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it was a very very great night, very satisfying winning, and yeah, super happy. And he opened me like I was expecting. You know, he opens me to the MMA world, and yeah, I've been known after this, and I got into the Bellator first.
Yeah, you did. You had a decent run in Bellator, then you went to the Ultimate Fighter, season 19.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you do that again? Would you do the Ultimate Fighter again?
Ultimate Fighter, you know, it was a very good experience, but fuck, it was tough. You know, yeah. But if I was at this moment and with this, with my past and opportunity, the same story, like my beginning, the same story, yeah, I will take the opportunity for sure, because that's what puts me on the map. Mm-hmm. But if I had to do my MMA career since the beginning, if I would do the same steps, probably not.
How terrible was it how bad was it being in that house without like any like phone or like media or anything, or like just any like just normal stuff?
Yeah, but it's, you know, for me, you know, I'm a little bit, it's my perspective, you know, I'm a little bit, you know, I'm not antisocial, but I like to be with myself and by myself, and you know what I mean. And I'm not like I'm social, but I'm not over social, speaking to everybody and all that, you know.
Right.
I have my moment, but the daily basis, no, you know. So yeah, that for this, it was very very tough, you know. And you know, it's kind of weird to have to be plugged every time. You cannot speak, you know. Everything you everything you speak, you know, it's here is heard, you know, in the studio and registered, and you really don't know what they're gonna make, what story they're gonna make with what you're saying, you know, because you know, it's like a movie, you know, they can build up stories out of nothing. But no, in my case, no, I've been lucky, and he was with the Canadians too, so he you know, good story been built, and they, you know, they tried their best to make me shine when it was my time to shine. It was cool, and good stuff. It's like you can order whatever you want to eat. So me, man, okay, where to start, you know? So I was ordering at the end, because I don't know, I was very different than everybody, you know, like I don't know, maybe more adult, more ground up, you know what I mean? More, and it's like when I do the grocery list the first time, you know, I was ordering like a premium stuff, you know what I mean, like a very no, lean beef, you know what I mean, like kind of filet mignon, and you know what I mean. And everybody was ordering like a shitty stuff, stupid stuff, you know, like you are a teenage living in your room, and you ordering, you know, it's you ordering your bucket list from Santa Claus, you know. So, yeah, so I was ordering, and everybody was taking my stuff. So okay, my stuff, our stuff, we live in the same house, but you're free to order whatever you want.
Stop taking your shit.
Yeah, stop taking my shit. I ordered this shit. So order yourself. They will come. But I understand that they have no they have no clue of what to order. You know, they order sneakers, or you know what I mean, or whatever. You know, they don't. Fruit Loops, I don't know, stupid stuff.
Baloney.
Chips, no. Yeah, bologna, stuff like especially for Australians, man. Oh man, at some moments, man, the veggies doesn't exist for them. It was meat, and the shitty meat. You know, they ask for. Oh, you have to be specific. You know, it's cool. You can order whatever you want. So they were seeing me having a good stuff, and they. By the end, for my Canadian friends, I was making most of the grocery list. Then they were adding some little stuff, but it's me. I was in charge of. I was doing all the list because they give me the trust, and I was ordering very good stuff.
What happened?
So yeah,
That's interesting.
good thing
Yeah,
is you can order whatever you want. Bad thing is it's like you have cameras and 24 hours radio on you. Yeah.
it's like FBI, like watching you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they threw your ass, man. You go in the shower, you sit on the toilet. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So
Jesus.
yeah, it takes a couple of days of adaptation, and then at some point everything becomes normal. You know, it's crazy how the brain works. You know what I mean? By the end, it's like it was normal. Yeah, you know, like another day. So yeah, it was crazy, and everybody pretty much adapt very well to this situation. We had no argument. No, it was overall it was cool. Just some stuff annoying.
Yeah, another moment in your career that is, that has been on the internet a lot is when Eric Silva tried to do the fake glove tap,
Ah,
and then you went
yeah,
back and knocked his ass out. What was going through
yeah,
your mind, like when that was happening? Like when he put his hand out, what was like going through your mind with that situation?
and believe it or not, okay. Some people believe, some people not. To who I'm talking, uh, I was so much in the zone. I was so much focused, laser focused, and really in the zone, like in trance. You know what I mean? It was me, but it wasn't me because I didn't notice he did that.
Oh, you didn't notice.
I knew it I knew it by after. For me, it just give me a hit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I saw then I was reacting, and I was you know what I mean? I was giving my fist for the fist bump, but I don't remember that. I don't remember this. You know what I mean? The whole fight I don't remember, and I just remember because I saw the fight. So I was so much focused, so much into it, and you know, I don't know. I completely skip all that, like, and the on interviews, you know, reporters they were asking me this. I was looking at my coach. I said, "What are they talking about?" And then I saw it. I said, "Oh fuck, motherfucker!" But I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Then, even if I didn't remember, I'm pretty sure I was conscious about it. You know what I mean? And for sure, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get you." But I don't know. When I've been victorious and whatever knocked out, it was flushed out of my brain, and I had to see what happened because I didn't remember.
Now, talking about knockouts, your last fight, last December, you knocked out Danny Roberts pretty,
Yeah.
impressively. Maybe your best knockout in your UFC career. A lot of people, they talk about that. Now, afterwards, you said that you might not fight at welterweight anymore, but now you're fighting at welterweight. So what happened with that decision?
Yeah, but by this knockout, yeah, it was eventually my yeah, it was my finest knockout, and it's from a great heritage from what I learned in Thailand of Muay Thai, and a great inspiration I had from a Thai fighter. So I'm very glad and I'm happy that I applied, and then I succeed with this move. And yeah, it was a great victory. And after that, yeah, I decided to don't fight anymore at welterweight. But I thought about it a lot. You know what I mean? I speak with friends and coaches and you know, I've made you know, I always fought at 170. It's going better and better. And you know, like how I can say that I've done so much at welterweight, and I'm 6-2, like 8 fights in the UFC at welterweight, 6-2. So I'm building myself up as a welterweight ranks. You know what I mean? And it would be, I think I wanted to give another try, because it would be pity to let all the story from the past and don't take advantage of it. Because if I going to 185, they're not going to promote me. Maybe I knock out people and they will promote me, but like I will come as a you know what I mean, like down the stairs again.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's pretty much of it. So I was a little bit scared to start down the stairs again, and you know what I mean, not to be known and blah blah. So yeah, so I give another try. I give a few fights again at welterweight. Hopefully, I honor my contract again and I do great results. And then I will be even more known as a fighter, you know, more popular. And maybe then it will be good to do a middleweight, like I'm losing my words. Like yeah, give it a try at 185, you know, and because I would be more on the map, you know what I mean?
Would you move completely, or would you like stay in both weight classes?
I think once I move, I move.
Okay.
But by now, I told them that I'm ready to take any good opportunity, and you know, if it's a very great opportunity, you know, I don't want to fight like nobody at 185. You know, it's like if it's a great opportunity, they have nobody, and, you know, and I'm ready to step in. But yeah, I think when I sign the contract at 185, once I'm there, I will finish
That's
at
it.
185. Yeah, that's it.
Would you
Depends how it goes.
Would you take a late replacement fight at 185?
Yeah, that's late. Yeah, late. To like 1 week notice. It's easy for me to make weight at 185, but it really depends who and they really have to need me, you know. And if they really need me, we're gonna negotiate a good business, you know. So if it's the case, yeah, I will step in. Yeah, for sure. For one for the money, two for the show.
Definitely. Money is very important in life.
Yeah, but especially, you know, I'm not like 25, 27 years old, and I can rebound like this. You know what I mean? I'm getting 37, and it's, you know, if I'm going down, it's to get back up. It's another business. You know, so it must worth it if I go down.
Yeah, it's got to make sense for you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm really, you know, I like to gamble. You know, sometimes, and this gamble risk, you know, always brought me the best out of me. So I believe in my skills. I believe in my abilities. So yeah, and I, you know, I've been lucky in all my past in MMA. You know, I've faced inspiring. Yeah, I've sparred with the greatest in this game. So you know, I'm confident. You know, I know I can show up. I can give it a show, whoever it is. I just need an opportunity, and I will give a show and a good fight.
Well, I think that staying at welterweight is a good idea. Like you said, you're 6-2. You know, like you're right at the edge. Like your next fight could be against a top 10 guy, you know, after you win your next fight. So you're in a good position, to be honest with you. It seems like you're getting better with your game overall. So, you know, I'm excited to see what you got in your next fight, because I think you'll get another knockout. I don't know. I just feel something about that.
Oh, if it's this guy, anyway, like I always target the knockout, but if it's this guy, yeah, it's not gonna last long. I'm telling you.
Do you
He's gonna pay first to have pull out first time, and and man, and he's gonna pay because man, I'm gonna show up ferocious and ruthless, and and like the mentality of a winner in my head. So yeah, man, I'm tough as nails. I know it, and I proved it, and and that's it. I'm a fighter.
Do you like fighting in Europe more than you like fighting in Canada?
I've only one fight experience in Europe, and George was with me. He was in Stockholm. But anyway, Stockholm was different. It's a strange weather there.
Very strange.
It's daylight for 20 hours a day. It's kind of strange, But yeah, the plus I liked it is because now I have an apartment in the south of France, and my wife will be there, and it only takes me like 1 or 2 hours wherever in Europe to get back home, instead of the United States or Canada. I have to fly like 10 hours, 15 hours, depend the stuff, and you know what I mean. And after a fight, you never know, and you never know if you injured or foot swelling or the face, face swelling or injury. All kind of injury, and it's very suck to take the plane like for a long travel and being injured, man. Especially you with the big travel, you're swallowing naturally. So imagine if you're swallowing by injury and you do it on top of it. Oh man, it sucks. I've done this, and that's the reason I like to fight in Europe. But after that, like for fans, Europe or Canada, United States is the same. I didn't see any difference.
What about Asia? Do you see yourself fighting in Asia soon, since you train out here a lot?
But I always had this dream to fight in Asia, and but more in kickboxing or Muay Thai. Yeah, I'm looking. It's like an int like this, but it's like I'm looking forward after MMA career to maybe do 2 or 3 fights in Muay Thai or kickboxing in Asia.
All right, Nordine, thank you for your time, and good luck, and congratulations on your newborn child. I know it's a fun time. You look happy. You look really happy, like, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy. I feel so blessed. Everything is fine. Everything it's like it's a happiness, but it's a very simple word to describe really of what it is. So I'm super happy.
All right, George. You got anything last words to
No. Thank you, Nordine. It's been a pleasure having you on here.
Yeah, my pleasure, bro.
Of course. It's been a long time coming. Real quick, I remember when we were in Stockholm and we were talking about my podcast, and he was like, "Hey, I'll go on. Okay, no problem." And I was like, "Okay." I was afraid to ask you if you wanted to come on. So it's finally now been like a year to have him on. So it's been a long time.
I love chatting with you, man. You're a bro now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, brother. We appreciate it.
Cool.
Definitely. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, that was Nordine Taleb. Now, George, Nordine, man, he's kind of like, he's 37 years old. He's not a young buck. He has a good record in the UFC.
Yeah, he's good.
It's very interesting to see like where his career goes from here, because he just got a new contract, and those types of fighters, I'm always interested in them, because it seems like Nordine's getting better with age.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I've had the pleasure of like, you know, being around him. And for me, I'm still a young coach and whatnot. Like he said, I went with him to Stockholm last year and cornered him for that fight and helped him train for it. When I've learned things from Nordine as well, obviously, you know, he's older than me. He's been in the game a long time. But yeah, man, he's, you know, his age is, it's like cliche to say, but, you know, he is older than most of the guys that are, you know, he's competing against. However, I think he is, just like you said, man, he's getting better and better. He's almost like a good bottle of wine. I'm sure he would love to hear that. He's just getting better with age. But yeah, Nordine is, he's a very technical fighter, man. And he's very smart with his training. You know, he takes care of his body, he takes care of himself. And, yeah. And even though he is older than a lot of the guys that, you know, he's competing against, I think his body, you know, like I said, he takes care of his body. So it's holding up. And of course, you know, age catches up to everyone, but man, I think that, I think he's, you know, he's at this point in his career, you know, he's getting better and, he's like really making a name for himself in the UFC. And I'm excited to see, you know, what he can do here in the future. Cause I think it is to the point where he's going to start to get those, you know, those bigger fights and whatnot because of his record. Like he can't just keep, you know, smashing guys that he's better than. So, you know, I've trained with him and coached him. And I think that, Nordine he's got all the skills. He's very good, man. He's not just a good striker. You know, he can he has takedowns. If he gets taken down, he can get up. Like, you know, he's a complete fighter, man. He's got the whole package.
Yeah. Talking with him, man, he seems like he's like at a point in his life where everything's fitting perfectly, and I think that's huge for somebody that has so much experience like he does, you know what I mean? And he's fought a lot of dudes and he's been in the UFC for a long time. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But how long has he been down there? How long have you worked with him for?
Well, when I was with him in Stockholm, that was like, I think, maybe a year or just under a year. It was last April or May. I can't remember. I think May. But anyways, he had come, I want to say before that. I don't remember exactly. But I would say like that I've been like helping him, or like, I guess, you know, like he asked me to corner him for that fight. And that kind of like made us closer in a way, you know. That's kind of like a intimate thing, like, you know, coaching someone and whatnot. So he's definitely been there longer than that, but my relationship with him is, you know, as like being pretty good friends and whatnot, has been, you know, for about a year. But he did come before that, and he's, you know, he's come back quite a bit since then. But yeah, it's cool working with him, man. 'Cause he's, you know, he's been around like, you know, training at Tristar and whatnot. Like he's got stories for days about like, you know, George St. Pierre and like all the high level guys that he trains with, man. I mean, he's obviously, you know, for us is, you know, one of the best coaches in MMA, but just his training partners that he's been around and had the pleasure of training with, man, like he's been around some, you know, incredible minds for MMA. So for me to be able to be a small part and like, you know, helping him and is pretty cool for me, because I've learned a lot from him as well.
For sure, man. Like the list is long for him, the training partners that he has ran throughout the years, you know what I mean? So
yes.
Now moving on from Nordine, you got some other situations happening in one championship. Let's talk about Shannon. He just recently fought, and what did you think about his performance? Was it just too fast? Do you think that he should have had some more time in the cage? Because of course you want to get a fast finish, but it's like you kind of want to get some cage time too. And, you know, it's kind of a double, you know, edged sword right there.
Yeah. I was like, for me as a coach, because I had two other people fighting that night, for me, it was, you know, I was happy to get that win because I had two other people that lost. I had one that, you know, that Tatsuya lost. And I had one, Rika, which was very capable of winning. But, you know, obviously didn't win. And went the other person's way. So for me as a coach, it was like for my, I guess you could say my ego or whatever, like it was good to have Shannon win. But going into that fight, I thought that he had the upper hand the whole way. And I thought that like, that guy, he has a lot more experience than that kid did. And Shannon's, man, there's a lot of people that are, in training, they're great. And then in fights, they're average or they're, below average. And then there's people who, train hard and they fight hard and it's the same way the whole way around. And then there's people who don't train so great, but when they fight at, they rise to the occasion and they fight at a very high level. And Shannon is one of those guys. Like one of my best friends was like that in wrestling. He would lose to like, and this isn't like Shannon, but my friend would lose to like the worst guy in the room. But when it came time to wrestle and competition, he's beaten, returning All-Americans and stuff like that. Like they just compete at a very high level. And I think Shannon's like one of those guys that, practice is practice and the fight is the fight. And it's two different things. And he comes to fight. And I think he just proved it again in that fight. And I think he needs to be fighting high-level competition. Of course, it would have been good if the fight would have went a little bit longer, but, he did his thing and he beat him striking, and that's Shannon's thing. That's what he's best at. And he improves and he continues to get better at, the other areas, in his wrestling and his ground game. I think even in the fight before that, the last fight in Bangkok when he fought the Chechen kid, like, that guy, he's from Chechnya, he's from the Caucasus, he's, from Russia, and all those guys are like at least decent wrestlers and grapplers. And he did a good job of getting taken down and not getting taken down. But when he did get taken down, he did a good job of getting up. And I think that's just improvements on him. And we spoke, him and I, about that fight and what he needed to do differently in this fight. And I think he did. It was quick, so it wasn't like the last one. He just, was kind of gun shy almost the last one. In this fight, it ended quickly, but I think that he was aware of the things that he did wrong in the last fight, and he, was not going to let it go like that this time. So I think that I think Shannon's like on the cusp of fighting the top guys in the division. He is one of the top guys, but, I think he's one or two fights away from a title shot.
That punch was like precision.
Yeah.
That didn't even look like he put anything on it. It just like he just countered, like stepping backwards. And it just I didn't realize it when I was like cage side, but like when I watched the next day the replay of it, man, like it was it looked effortless, and that guy was out cold. Yeah, like sleep, and to be honest with you, that dude was a threat. It's not like
for sure. He was a tall, strong, like striker. Like, that kid,
he wasn't could wrestle like, too.
Yeah, he's like, he was a good opponent. But yeah, it was just like, and you know what even made it cooler, or at least for me, because obviously living in Thailand, is Rungvasi, the guy, and I probably pronounced his name wrong, but the world champion right now in boxing from Thailand. Mm-hmm. He was like cage side, like right next to the cage. And like Shannon no one realized it until afterwards, like when the lights kind of came on, but he had his whole like M150, like the energy drink, like tracksuit on, who's his sponsor. And he was like right cage side. And like Shannon was like respectful and like wide him and stuff. And, but it was pretty cool to get like a knockout like that in front of like a boxing great like that guy.
For sure. And in front of your like home country and everything. So he kind of got to redeem himself. Yeah. He redeemed himself from his last fight. So it was kind of nice to see. Did you watch, you were there for the Bibiano and Martin Nguyen fight. Did you watch the fight or did you leave?
No, I was in the crowd, but I was kind of like, I was with my fiance and I was a little bit further back, and I was too busy like consuming 2 or 3 beers in like 25 minutes before I had to leave. So like I watched it, but I didn't like watch it because I was like, there were like heads like at this level, and I was like kind of like sitting up to look over them. But it's a fight I need to go back and look, because I was interested in it, and it seemed like it was a back and forth fight, and then obviously with the decision and whatnot, or the split decision. So I definitely need to go back and watch it.
Was it an open bar?
No,
No, they don't have
no,
that.
it was no. There were like VIP seats, but my fiance was not in the VIP. Like she was in really close seats, but yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that for next time. Shannon and Rick are gonna have to pull through for those tickets. But no, I just went and like grabbed some beers. But yeah,
For sure. What was I gonna say? That night, the Dream Man, like basically the only wrestler in Thailand, but the best
yeah,
wrestler in Thailand. He did the suplex. Now, I've talked to many people about this, and as a wrestler, the people that are wrestlers, they're confused because they've been doing these things since they were a little kid, right? These
yeah,
suplexes, and there's different like suplexes, right? There's different ways of suplexing people, but then there's a point where it changes into a slam. Now,
yeah.
did you watch that suplex?
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
I've
a
seen
suplex,
like the
right?
replay. Yeah, I saw the replays, and to be honest, I don't remember exactly what he did. Um, because I messaged, some of my friends that were in the meeting, like the rules meeting, and I was told that they did say that, and I think it was because when there was a kid, I think slammed or whatever you want to say, suplex or whatever, in Indonesia, a Cambodian kid, didn't they? I want to say that the rule was changed after that, and I don't know exactly. But because I was curious as well, because I wasn't in the rules meeting, but I was told that that was like brought up. But for me, like if that's the rule, okay. Like if you were told about it, then you have to be aware of that. But in my opinion, I think that look, in wrestling, like international wrestling, especially, the higher you throw the person over your head, the more points you get. Um, so like that's a big move in wrestling in international competition. I mean, even in high school wrestling, you can't slam people, but I mean, there's so many different ways. Like, I don't think that people should be allowed to spike someone, like their head or neck should not hit first.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if their shoulders hit first and then they go over, because even a lot of times in wrestling, like you see like the most beautiful things in freestyle wrestling where someone like steps behind and like we call it back arches, and you arch them over your head. Usually their shoulders hit and then their neck, and then like it doesn't even hurt. You just you're going through the air. But in my opinion, you know what? We're fighters and we're fighting, and it should be allowed. But if it's a rule set, then I understand that as well.
Yeah, I heard that the same thing, that the rule was changed after that, after the Cambodia kid, Soda Fat, he got
Yeah,
suplexed,
exactly.
and
Yes.
that was a real suplex. Like he landed on basically his neck.
Yeah.
He got hurt pretty badly. So after that, I'm thinking they changed the rules, but they didn't really tell people, like people didn't really know
Right.
about it, except for like unless
Yeah.
you were in the rules meeting, right? So
Right.
um so that's why like even that, a lot of people are kind of contesting it because they don't feel that it was a suplex. They feel like it was a slam. So, it's the rules don't come into effect because it was a slam, not a suplex. But, people could argue all day about it. But at the end of the day, the organization decides what is what. So if it's a disqualification, it's a disqualification. You could cry all day, but
Right.
not going to change what happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if it was like said, in the rules meeting before
Yeah.
the fight. Like you can't like regardless of how you feel about it, like if it was said to you in the rules meeting, then uh then if it happened, then you're in the wrong. But like whoever, because I don't think Dream Man speaks very good English either.
Mm-hmm.
His people should have kind of probably conveyed that to him. Um, but yeah, like I wasn't there for that, and I wasn't in the rules meeting, and obviously wasn't in his corner. So, but yeah, for me, that should be allowed as long as like I think it's easy if someone's like facing away from you and like in wrestling and you are doing like a back arch or a suplex or whatever you want to call it, and you're throwing the person over your head. I think that their back and shoulders should hit first before their neck or their head. Because otherwise, Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. But if it's allowed in wrestling, you know, I agree with it, especially in a fight. But again, it's the rule set. So if that's what they say, then you have to abide by the rules.
All right, man. Well, I guess that's it for today. You know, we had a good conversation with Nordine. Nordine actually was way more talkative than I expected because I
Yeah,
never really seen him
once you
talk
get him
that much.
going, man, Nordine can talk. He's
Yeah,
and he, you know, he's like an old head. He's kicking knowledge too.
yeah. He's you know he's on the verge of the OG like age. So, but yeah,
Yep.
it was very good to kind of get insight into that Pete Cell
Yeah, that
fight.
was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that because I
yeah,
had no idea about that.
yeah.
Look at you doing your research.
Elf, you know what you got to do something. You can't just come in here and be like, "Hey, what's your name?"
Yeah.
Will you fight for the UFC? Right? You know, are you debuting this week? You know, shit like that. So, yeah, man. But it was good talking to you, and it was good talking to Nordine. And until next time, we don't know when the next time will be, but it'll be a next time.
Peace.